you doing up there?
I thought we could talk about TPMS sensors.
Talk about you even wrote on the car? Jeez, I leave him alone for 2 minutes.
What? It comes off.
All right, you're supposed to clean the car, not write on it.
I'm sorry.
What do you want to know about TPMS?
Oh, there's so many things. Where would you start if I didn't know much about TPMS at all?
Well, this time of the season, I get a lot of questions of why all of a sudden is my light on, and it has to do with temperature change. We're live. Keep going there, dude.
Has to do with temperature change. Okay, so what are you trying to say? Because it's getting colder out right now, the temperature inside the tire is going to change, or?
Yeah, the cold contracts. So, say your tire is supposed to be set at 32 or 35. Every manufacturer has a different setting, 3 to 5 pounds difference before the light goes on. So with it cold, you get up in the morning, it's 25 degrees, you get in your car, and you stop backing out of your driveway, and you're driving down, all of a sudden the light comes on, you're like, why me? Right? This happens, and it always happens when you're running late. That's the key of it, right?
Yeah, that happens to all of us.
So what I like to do is I tell everyone to go on the door, open your car door. Most cars have a tag on the side, and it gives you the actual tire pressure for the car. Okay. Never use the tire pressure on the tire.
So you don't go by the tire?
No, because this is a manufacturer's recommendation for this tire, not for the vehicle. The weight and the stability.
So it's just the maximum rating.
Correct, on that tire, but not for this car, man.
Okay.
So you check the door, it says 35 PSI, so in the winter I'll bump that up to 36, 37. So that way the customer never sees that flex in that temperature drop and change.
That makes sense. Would the TPMS light turn on if only one tire was low, or do they all have to be low?
Depends on the vehicle. Some cars have the actual little tire thing, so you can see which tire is lower than the rest.
Yeah.
Some might just be a monitor that sets the light, so that means they all are on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I mean, does tread depth or anything have anything to do with the TPMS? Because, like, I heard some people say that if you have tires that are different sizes, then it can change, like, the rate of rotation on the tire or something. Is that true?
All depends if you have direct or indirect TPMS sensors.
Okay, so direct would probably be, like, the stem that's part of the wheel, or it's like it's attached to the wheel?
Yeah, it'd be a valve stem type.
Okay.
Or the sensor that wraps around the inside of the rim.
So, but what's the indirect then?
ABS.
Goes by the ABS.
So it goes by stability and the height. So if you put wrong size tires on, you're gonna get TPMS light.
Uh-huh.
Because it goes by the rotation.
That makes sense. That totally makes sense. So what would be a cure? I mean, if we know that the tire pressure is low, we add to it, and then tomorrow, the light comes on again.
Well, you'd have to ask yourself, did you go by the spec on the door? So if you went by the exact spec on the door, or did you get a cheesy tire gauge too?
Oh, okay.
You know, you get what you pay for, right? If you get that one that's on your keychain, I don't think that's accurate, bro.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, I understand that. That's okay. So, what if the TPMS light comes on and I'm not near someplace that I can actually physically check the tire pressure? Like I don't just carry around a tire pressure gauge in my pocket.
I bet you do. So what we would do is, I mean, it's not safe to pull on the side of the highway and check your tire pressure.
Right.
You know, you got to go with what you feel.
Okay.
If you feel the car wobbling or it starts to really pull to a side, then yeah, you probably have a flat tire.
Jeez. Okay. So if it's just the TPMS light that comes on, but you're not feeling anything too squarely, you're probably okay, or would you still recommend just trying to get to someplace that I can check it ASAP?
I would say check it on your way. When you get to your destination, check and see if the tire looks flat. If it doesn't look flat, I guarantee you it goes out while you're on your way to work, because if it's only 3 to 5 pounds difference, it might go out once it heats up.
Okay. I guess that makes sense. You know, you're driving it, the tire temperature warms up, the air inside expands a little bit.
The pressure builds up.
I mean, that makes sense. So what happens if I break one of these sensors? Like this you said is the direct, right? This is direct TPMS?
Correct.
So if this sensor breaks, is that something that I can just replace on my own? Or do you think
No,
that...
you have to break the tire down, dude.
I could do that, a couple pry bars. No? Maybe a hammer, bonk,
bonk. Bonk, yeah. You just give it a little bonk, bonk.
Yeah.
You know, I think you might want to leave that up to the professionals, because the stem is not cheap. I see them go anywhere from 80 to 180, so
what?
You don't want to break it, dude. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So I'd go to a shop, have them do it. That way they might have to also program it.
Program it too?
Yeah.
Okay. And you probably don't have to program with the indirect, because that just goes by the
There's
ABS.
always a reset button usually for that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it resets itself. That's pretty cool.
It's kind of cool. I mean, so a valuable thing about having indirect over direct is that I wouldn't necessarily have to worry about the sensor breaking. Well, I assume they have batteries in them too. I mean, the batteries last forever?
No. Yeah, right.
They're not like nuclear powered or
No,
anything like that?
They last about every 7 years.
Huh. Okay, so 7 years. I don't know what year this thing is, but we could have a probable cause here. What if I just walk around the car and I can tell that my tires don't look flat? I mean, I can go around and kick all the tires because I'm a tire kicker. Why not? You know?
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. I mean, these all look great.
So that's why you would check. You would check with a gauge. Like, I personally have a digital gauge because they always just vary within a half a pound. The average is half a pound. You pay money for it, but I've had mine now for 5 years, and they have little watch batteries. You change them, and it's accurate.
That's kind of
Because you can test it too with the car. If the car has a gauge in it,
Yeah.
you know, come on,
I
put
know
your
what you're
digital
talking
one on,
about.
and then you turn the
Yeah.
car up, and you're like, hey, my gauge is off. You can always reset it. They have a way to
That's
reset
cool.
the gauges.
That's really cool. I mean, I don't know.
Depends on how serious you want to get about your TPMS.
Right. I mean, I don't want to go spending a couple $100 on TPMS sensors just because a light came on. Should I, like, if the light comes on and I check all my tire pressures and all the pressures are great, do I just rush out and buy all new sensors? Len's just throwing down a paycheck.
Well, yeah, I mean, you think about it. If you've owned the car, say 7 years, and boom, light comes on, you're going to go to a professional shop that has a gauge. They hook it up and they go, no reading, no reading, no reading, and reading. It's kind of like a headlight. They have the same age to them. You know, they burn time on a headlight. Same thing with the TPMS.
Yeah.
That battery's
Okay.
the same age as the rest of the
It's
batteries.
true,
So, yeah, you're going to have to buy all 4. Don't buy 5. Don't go for the 5th one.
There's no pool on the roof, huh?
No.
Okay.
So the spare tire, some if they have full-size tire, I've had customers say to me, well, I want that one changed. And I was like, whoa, someone's got
Oh,
money,
yeah.
because I don't really, if I have to put my spare tire on, I already know I have a problem. I'm just gonna get to my destination. I'm not gonna spend $200 and waste it sitting in the trunk.
That just made me think of something. When you said that, the spare tire sometimes has a TPMS unit inside of it.
Correct.
So I check all 4 of these tires and I'm like, my tires are perfect, my light's still on.
Yep.
I don't have one of those little scanner things. I mean, yeah, you can get them almost anywhere, but I don't have one to know exactly which one's wrong. Maybe I didn't check the spare. I didn't even know to check the spare.
Correct. So,
Oh, man.
like SUVs that have it mounted on the back,
Yep.
that has to be, you always wanna mount that stem like at a 3 or 9 o'clock. You don't want it straight down because it doesn't get activated. So you want the gyroscope to be able to, I don't know if gyroscope's the right word, but that's how it activates.
Yeah.
It keeps that battery going.
Okay, so yeah, because it needs to keep moving around so that it knows that it's activated. So this thing right here, it's not just constantly talking to the brain of my car, is it? Is this just constantly talking?
Yes, it is.
It is, huh?
Like you.
Hello.
Just like you, Lenny.
Hello.
Bonk, bonk, yeah. Guy's out of control.
Oh my gosh. So, let's break this down. Do you want to break it down?
The tire?
Yeah, I want to do it.
Yeah, why don't you leave and go get
I'll
your
go get the
screwdriver.
pry bars and a hammer.
See you later.
I'm not really gonna do that. If we had a tire machine though, that would be pretty
Oh,
neat
yeah,
because
let's
I would
put
love to
that
see
in.
the
Yep.
inside.
Can you write tire machine needed right here?
Tire machine. Machine. Please. All
Budget.
right.
Put it in the budget.
I'm gonna put it in the budget. I'm gonna see if I can get that. Yeah.
What if they have to cut back on you? Oh, you're not willing to sacrifice? No. Yeah, see how he
There we
is?
go. Oh, smudges.
Oh, I want to put a shout out to somebody named Karen. It's her birthday today. Happy birthday, Karen.
Happy birthday, Karen. I love birthdays. I love birthdays.
We got anything else we want to talk about?
Oh man, there's so many questions that I have because the TPMS light, like how do you know that is, how do you know which light is the TPMS light, basically is my question, because sometimes when I turn my key, the lights just all turn on. There's so many lights and it's like nothing really jumps out and says TPMS.
I know.
So,
Well, you want to draw it? So it looks like an upside, it looks like a horseshoe, right?
Horseshoe.
With a little water underneath it.
I see.
With a question mark.
There we go.
Oh, now he's gonna get all serious. That looks like a Patron bottle.
Oh. It's empty, so
yeah.
maybe it is.
Pretty.
Okay.
Yep,
And then I feel like I remember seeing like a
that's it.
exclamation point. That one's the one?
That's, yeah, and it's usually an amber color. It's like an orange.
Amber. Look at me with the white.
Yep. You don't need-
Unbelievable. So
That is.
it's amber.
Yeah. That's a TPMS light. A lot of people, when they first came out, you remember that? Oh, man. People would be coming in, I got a light on my dash, stopping on the
what
side
is
of the
this?
road because they thought the car was going to do something.
They're calling you probably?
It's horrible, yeah. And
Unbelievable.
back then, nobody had any aftermarket equipment, so it was always calling the dealer, calling the dealer.
Oh, really?
It was such a nightmare.
The
yeah.
TPMS is mandatory now, right?
It
because
sure is, yeah.
they just stepped in and they're like, this is for safety's sake.
It's
Because,
federally regulated for like EPA for gas mileage and all that kind
Okay.
of stuff, you know. Gotta save the zone, man.
I have to assume it's probably for safety as well, because it's going to increase stability if your tire pressure is where it's supposed to be. If you're running low on a tire, stability is probably going to go down. You're going to have braking issues potentially.
Handling more than anything.
Oh yeah, handling. Yeah, exactly.
We know he probably doesn't handle the car too good as
Oh,
it is.
I race it.
Because you drive talking.
Depends on which car, man.
Yeah,
so
that's
yeah, I
true.
have a car for everything.
Yeah, right.
I don't really, just a Ferrari.
So I think we should, pretty much that's it. What? I mean, we might have missed some questions. You have any questions?
I feel like I wish I had a couple more questions for you because there's so many things that were running through my head. Oh, man, that's why I drew this all up.
This is his life story right here, just so you know.
Unbelievable. Running late. Light comes on. Well, yeah, I got a light coming on, that's for sure.
All right, dude, good job.
All right, good job.